the spotlight, shine them bright. Gonna have a brand new show tonight with glitz and glam on the marquee. Perhaps a Tony nominee. Stars beam brightly, see them glow. Sell out nightly, SRO. It's time to applaud the Broadway Beat. Stars beam brightly, see them glow in the footlights of a show. Life is sweet on the world's most famous street.
Tickets, please.
Take a seat
Cue the band.
and have your feet to the rhythm of the Broadway Beat. The Broadway Beat. Broadway Beat.
Hello, I'm Richard Ridge, and welcome to Broadway Beat, our behind-the-scenes look at the very best of what the New York theater has to offer. And this week, we're all over town. We'll bring you an exclusive behind-the-scenes look at the first production of the 15th season of City Center Encores. It was the 1970 Charles Strauss Lee Adams musical Applause, which is based on All About Eve. It starred Tony Award winner Christine Ebersole as Margot Channing. We'll also take you to the opening night celebration of Roundabout Theater Company's new production of Beth Henley's 1981 Pulitzer Prize-winning play Crimes of the Heart, directed by Kathleen Turner. But let's start things off at Madame Tussauds Wax Museum on West 42nd Street, where they once again played host to Kids Night on Broadway, which is produced by the Broadway League. This year marked the 12th annual event, where for every adult full-price theater ticket sold, a kid goes to the theater for free. Once again, this year's Kids Night ambassador was 13-time Emmy Award winner Rosie O'Donnell, who kicked off the festivities with a musical number by her troupe, Rosie's Broadway Kids.
It's jumping, it's really jumping. Every boat is on its own. I mean, it's going to jumping. No time for talking, it's time for walking. Grab a job and cut the rug. I mean, it's just jumping. Don't mind the hour, the time and hour. I got bed and we go to bed. I mean, it's just jumping. It's just jumping, it's really jumping. We're all on the way.
My name is Kenita Miller. I'm a part of Xanadu. I play Erido. And this kids event is awesome with all the different Broadway shows. And I love children. We get to work with the arts and crafts. We're making friendship bracelets here. And then we're putting a little Xanadu tag on it. And it's awesome. You get to see what everybody else is doing. You get the kids involved and let them know what's going on. And in theater, get them excited to go back and spark their creativity.
Here at the Wicked table, we're doing pink and green hair painting. We're doing the Which Are You quiz to see if you're more of a Glenda or a Fierro, and we're also doing temporary Wicked tattoos.
Talk about how important this event is to future audiences for all the kids that are coming to see these shows tonight.
It's very important because it gives children an opportunity to see theater. Otherwise, they wouldn't, be able to see it, because it's nice to be able to have the opportunity to see theater in a more affordable way.
As a family of four, we can't afford to do Madame Tussauds and dinner and Broadway shows, and this makes it possible for us. And my kids have been exposed to some wonderful theater, and we can't thank them enough. The Broadway League, Madame Tussauds, and the New York Times, it really makes theater accessible and possible for our children, and this is a wonderful day for us.
I am the production maker supervisor for Phantom of the Opera. I've been there for 20 years. We're in our 21st year now.
What's your name?
Thelma Pollard, and I started off in the hair department, and about 2 months afterwards, then they asked me did I know how to do makeup, and I said sure. And then I went and did Michael Crawford's makeup, and after that, after Michael Crawford and his makeup artist left, I took over, and I was the Phantom's makeup artist until now.
Okay, now, I know when Michael was first in the show, how long did it take to put the Phantom's makeup on, and what is it down to?
Originally about 3 hours, I think. And now we're down to about an hour.
I saw it on the internet, actually, and I had heard about it for years, and we never took the opportunity. It was in the New York Times, so we went on the internet and got tickets.
You know how cool it is for you guys because they buy 2 tickets and they get 2 tickets for free. I mean, 4 people are going to the theater for the price of 2. How cool is that for you with the wallet?
That's great. That's great. I hope they do it again next year and the year after that. It'll be terrific.
Yes, we've been coming for 4 years. It's our 4th Kids Night on Broadway, and it's grown. The first time we had 6 people, then we had 10 people, and today we have 41 people with us. 42.
42 people. Now, is half of those kids?
Half moms and half kids. All girls and moms.
So how cool is that you can take that adults buy a ticket and a kid goes for free in really great seats? Talk about that.
It's wonderful. It's wonderful. You can take your daughter and not have to pay the full price. It's wonderful.
It's a great experience for the girls. It's just something different and
But it looks like you 3 are having just as much fun as the kids are, right?
We are, sure. Yep. It's fun. It's a great experience. You get to meet all the actors. You get to see a different show every year. And you get to experience something with your daughter that you might not normally experience.
Here's to Kids Night on Broadway.
Rosie picked me up from PS19, and then I kept going, and I succeeded, and now I'm still here.
Well, I went to PS11. They came to my school. They wanted me to audition, so I auditioned. I liked it, so I went there.
Kick, and you're just going to keep kicking, and your hats go like this. You're going to do hat, no hat, hat, no hat.
But I'm thrilled to be here today as the ambassador for Kids Night on Broadway because it is essential that children get to sit in the velvet seats and will have a waxy playbill in their hand and watch as the curtain rises and the orchestra swells and that moment of magic happens that can't happen in a movie theater and that can't happen in your living room. It only happens on Broadway, and that's right here in New York.
Here's the Kids Night on Broadway 2008!
Roundabout Theater Company continues their season with a new production of Beth Henley's 1981 Pulitzer Prize-winning play Crimes of the Heart, which is just open at their Laura Pels Theater. It's directed by Kathleen Turner. We caught up with the cast right after the opening night curtain came down. Jennifer Dundas, Sarah Paulson, and Lily Rabe play the romantically challenged McGrath sisters in Henley's beautiful, poignant portrait of Mississippi Misses. Joining them are Jessica Stone, Patch Dara, and Chandler Williams.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Lenny.
Oh, wait, I can't think of my wish. My body's gone all nervous inside.
Oh, for
God,
God's
my eyes are like you said, and you told me
Okay, go. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Lenny. Happy birthday to you. Woo! You made it right.
Well, I wrote it when I was living in Los Angeles, and a friend of mine, Frederick Bailey, was doing a play of his at La Mama Hollywood. And I just thought, if he's written a play, I could write a play. So I wrote it very simply with one set and just a few actors. And I even did not think that the birthday cake would be cut into because that would be too expensive. So just very simple and kind of, based on things that concerned me.
And just talk about working hands-on with your director, Kathleen Turner.
Well, I was kind of just astonished because she was already way ahead of me and just very excellent and cares a lot about telling the story and keeping the pace going and not indulging in the moments and keeping it funny. And it was just fabulous to work with her.
Well, there's something really yummy, to sound really annoying, about a villainess, and she is sort of a member of the family, so it's not completely in black and white, and it's fun to sort of explore the depths of someone that maybe on the page might seem like there's only one way to go, but just to dig a little deeper, and she's funny, and she's like everyone that we know. Not everyone that we know, but we all know someone like her, you know.
Get out of here! You tell me to get out. What makes you think you can order me around? I've had just about my fill of you trashy McGraths and your trashy ways. Hanging yourselves in cellars, carrying on with married men, shooting your own husband. Get out! Don't you think she's not going to end up in a state prison farm or in some mental institution? Why, it's a clear-cut case of manslaughter with intent to kill. Out! When everyone says deliberate intent to kill, and you will pay for that. You hear me? You will pay. And I'm telling you to get out! Oh, well, put that down. What are you, a raving lunatic? I said for you to get out. Oh, and that means... Oh. Ow! Never! Come back! Do you hear me? Kick the stick! Oh, this is my house! Hold this is my home!
It's an amazing role. Babe is actually the first monologue I ever did when I was, in 8th or 9th grade or something, was a Babe monologue from Crimes of the Heart. And I think she's so amazing and sort of unlike any part I've ever played before. She's so open and sort of available, and I think she could be approached in a lot of different ways, but what's so touching about her to me is her sort of against everything that's happened to her, her ability to remain sort of open and hopeful and really in the moment. And I think she's a really, they all are tremendous characters in this play. But
well, Doc is pretty close to the bone for me, and it's a really great experience for me to get to work on it, personally every night. He's been through a lot. I've never had to do something like this where you have so much time off stage, about an hour, and then come on with, 5 years of experience with Meg. So that's been a challenge, but acting with Sarah Paulson's just been a dream every night. So.
What makes her so wonderful to play is that she's so complicated. She's so a real person. She's not a one-dimensional person. Sometimes characters in plays are just what you see is what you get, and I feel like with Meg, she's fiercely protective and passionate and crazy and screwed up and, dark and trying to find the light. And, it's hard to do that under the auspices of comedy, to have all that going on. I have no idea if I succeed, but I don't care. I'm having the best time in the world.
And working with Kathleen Turner as a director.
I worked with her as she played my mother in a TV movie about 15 years ago. It was one of my first on-camera jobs. And she's just extraordinarily supportive and present, and it's great. It's wild. It's wild being directed by someone you watched in the movie theater when you were a child.
It must be great. She's also an actor.
Yeah, so she's very supportive, and she really gets what it means when you struggle with how to find something. It's something.
Oh, my God, we're getting so old. Oh, I called, for heaven's sakes. Of course I called.
Well, I never talked to you.
Well, I know. I let the phone ring right off the hook.
Oh, well, as a matter of fact, I was out most of this morning seeing to Babe.
Now, just what is all this business about Babe? How could you send me such a telegram about Babe and Zachary? You say somebody shot Zachary?
Yes, they have.
Well, good Lord, is he dead?
No, but he's in the hospital. He was shot in his stomach.
In his stomach? How awful. Do they know who shot him? Well, who? Who was it? Who?
Babe! They're all saying Babe shot him.
Well, I really have to thank Kathleen for this, because a lot of times Barnett is played kind of as like a silly guy, and she said to me early on, once I got in the room, that she wanted Barnett to be a viable rutting stag against Zachary Buttrell, so that if we could get him out of the way, then maybe Barnett could be with Babe. And that was how I wanted to play it too, so it was great. And Kathleen Turner it's like having you have a director's eye, but it's like everybody has like a best friend who's an actor who comes to the theater afterwards that you depend on, and they'll tell you if you're acting like hell or not. You've got that one person, and that's what it's like having Kathleen all the time, because she's an actor first and foremost. And so at all times it's kind of amazing what she says, and insightful, but also like terrifying.
Well, it's been extraordinary. It's been extraordinary because you take a play like this that was written in such a specific time period, particularly in relation to the women's movement, say, and it takes place in the South, which is known for being a little bit more conservative, a little bit behind the rest of us. And so there's a question of, oh my gosh, is it going to feel current? Is it going to feel, still relevant? And I think that what's been so wonderful for me as an actor and as a woman is that it's the truth of the characters in Beth Henley's writing that makes all of that irrelevant, and it is completely resonant for women, men, old people, young people, everyone. And that for me has been a really wonderful learning experience, that with great writing, great direction, great acting, and a little magic dust from the heavens to hope that it will all come together, it just transcends any concerns about, is this still something that people are going to care about, because she's written such real people with real life circumstances that could be done 50 years from now, 100. I mean, it's just a real family, and that's been very special.
There's Daddy. Where'd you get that picture, babe? I thought she burned them all.
I was just fanning around. What does that say? What is that inscription? It says, Jimmy clowning at the beach, 1952.
Why?
Woof, will you look at that smile?
Jesus. Those white teeth. Turn the page, will you? We can't do any worse than this.
It's Mama and the cat. Turn the page. That old yellow cat. I bet if she hadn't hung that old catalog with her, she wouldn't have gotten all that national coverage.
City Center Encores kicked off their 15th season on February 7th with the 1970 Charles Strauss Lee Adams musical Applause, which is based on All About Eve. Stepping into the role of Margot Channing was Tony Award winner Christine Ebersole, who just days before the opening came down with the flu but went on for the entire 5-performance run. Joining Miss Ebersole in the role of Eve Harrington was her Grey Gardens co-star Erin Davey. Rounding out the Applause cast was Kate Burton, Chip Zien, Michael Park, Tom Hewitt, Mario Cantone, and Megan Sikora. We are deeply grateful to the show's director-choreographer, Tony Award winner Kathleen Marshall, who graciously opened her rehearsal room for Broadway Beat's behind-the-scenes look when she had just 10 days to get the show up and happening. Next at Encores is the musical Juno, based on Sean O'Casey's play Juno and the Paycock, which will star Tony Award winner Victoria Clark. It will run from March 27th through the 30th. For remaining tickets, go to www.nycitycenter.org. Now enjoy our behind-the-scenes look at Encore's Applause.
You've had a taste of the sound that says applause. Applause, applause. There's applause, applause. Beautiful, soaring, magnificent, glory. Incredible, hot, the shout of applause will step up the blue. Whatever you do better because you're doing it to the beat of applause. And nothing can beat the beat of applause. When you hear it.
I'm Mario Cantone. You know that, Rich. And I'm playing Dwayne Fox in Applause here at City Center, the Encores. And I was obsessed with the show as a kid. I had the album, so I would just listen to it constantly. And I would do But Alive and Who's That Girl in my living room. And I just wanted to be around it. When Kathleen said, you want to play Dwayne Fox, I was like, yeah, I just wanted to be around it. And it's a fun role. Yeah, it's based on the Thelma Ritter role in All About Eve. Except I don't have some of those lines that I'm slowly trying to put back in. But it's been fun. And I work with Kathleen and Boyce from Syracuse, and was really happy she asked me to do it.
She's no longer a gypsy. She'll be leaving us soon. She did the understudy to the rescue bit. Now she's halfway to the moon. She's no longer a gypsy. No more equity calls. She's gonna get them crazy invitations now to Truman Capote's ball.
My name is Erin Davey, and I'm playing Eve Harrington in Applause with Christine Ebersole. And what drew me to the part is I actually wasn't familiar with the show, and when I heard that Christine was doing it, I was like, what is this she's doing? And somebody said to me, well, you'd be great in that show. And I said, there's a part for me. So I listened to the music, and I fell in love with One Halloween. It's so perfect for me. It's so my thing, and I just thought, oh my God, I want to do that. So I had to audition, and I worked really hard, and I got it. So I was thrilled when I got it. I was doing the Glorious Ones at the time, and everybody in that show heard I was like, oh, I'm waiting to hear, and I couldn't wait. So I was so happy to hear that I got it.
Tell me what it's been like. I know you just started. It's like being shot out of a cannon, isn't it? Talk about the Encore's experience.
The Encore's experience, I've never done summer stock, but they say it's like summer stock, and that makes a lot of sense to me, especially since I'm rehearsing for curtains as well, and I'm on pause for that while I'm doing this. And so I'm then going to go back to that show and rehearse a little bit more, and then it's just very confusing for me, especially doing 2 shows at once. But it is very fast, and it's long days, and I look like a mess, as you can see. So, it's crazy. I feel like a kid again.
Hi, Rich. I'm Chip Zion, playing Buzz Richards, desperately trying to learn the part in like 10 days. It's a great part. I'm playing a frantic, neurotic, miserable writer who's worried that his play's getting messed up and then falls for the young ingenue, for Eve. Great part.
Did you know the show at all before? Tell me what it's been like now that you've known it.
You know what? I did know the show. I know some of the music before. When you got good friends, you got a good life thing. But what I noticed is that I learned a bunch of wrong notes, which I'm trying to unlearn frantically here in the next 10 days. And if I had to sing this opening number, heebie deebie 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 doo, dabba labba dabba dabba da, then I would be totally lost. And all of these people standing behind us have to learn that. And also, Ebersol's got, it's like climbing Mount Everest, and she's unbelievable. So it's going to be really exciting. And I also get to work with Kate Burton, which for me is really cool, and I'm excited about that. So, yeah, it's great and terrifying all at the same time.
First encores
ever. I begged them. I've been begging them for years. They just wouldn't have me. I don't know what it is. I guess I'm afraid in readings I drop the script or I turn 2 pages at the same time. And I want to not do that here. It's too important. So I'm hoping I become professional as soon as possible and quickly.
As you go through life, there's 3 things you need. Money is 1. Number 2 is sex. Number 3, good friends who really don't care if you're a swinger or you're a square. You never one thing to me.
Oh, I wish I'd never drank that tank.
You know what? The odd thing is not learning the song in 5 seconds. The odd thing is having to kind of mac out with Christine Ebersol, having just met her. And so that was a bit of a shock for her. And being on a soap opera for a number of years, I kiss everyone I'm with usually. So I can understand it's kind of alarming having just met and having to make out in the first or second meeting. But the songs are phenomenal. I love that first ballad. The second song with the funky kind of harmonies, that's a lot of fun. That's a lot of fun to learn, actually. But I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to the run. Hopefully, it'll go a little longer than the five shows. We'll see.
Welcome to the theater. With some luck, you'll be a pro. You'll work and slave and scratch and bite. You'll learn to kill with sheer delight. You'll only come alive at night when you're in a show. Welcome to the theater, you fool.
Well, I think the things that really attracted me to it were Lauren Bacall and the movie, All About Eve, and Betty Davis. So they're two really iconic, fabulous movie stars, and it's a dream come true, really.
Let's talk about this score. I told you earlier, I saw all the girls do this on Broadway. I saw Bacall, I saw Ann Baxter, I saw Arlene Dahl. I love this score, and I'm so glad it's set in the 70s where it was. What do you love about this score by Strauss and Adams?
Just what you're saying. It's because of the type of music. It sort of came at the beginning of this change in music on Broadway. And, from the Rodgers and Hammerstein and sort of moving into this new era of music. And that's what's so nostalgic about it and so wonderful to hear it again.
Talk about working with Kathleen Marshall. I know you have 1 week to put this whole show together, and this is your actual second day of rehearsal, right? Is it?
No, it's the third day. We started on Monday, but we have a show a week from tonight.
You've done encores before. Talk about the encores experience. Is it like being shot out of a cannon? What is it like?
Well, I heard someone say it's Broadway boot camp. So if you can survive something like this, you can basically do anything. So it's so fast and furious. You really can't get too upset about it, and that's the great thing about it is in the style that's being presented as a concert, a lot is forgiven because we're doing a concert. And there's not a lot of time to rehearse it. But.
Talk about working with Kathleen Marshall and with Erin Davey again.
Well, it's a dream to work with Erin Davey, of course. She was my daughter in Grey Gardens, so it's so much fun, and it works on so many different levels that she's playing my competition once again, in Applause, and she's so wonderful. And Kathleen Marshall is just a gem. I mean, she's just so great. I mean, the fact that she's like the great, organizer, the fact that she can put this gigantic thing together in such a short period of time, and choreograph and direct it is just awesome.